Hello, everybody. Let's go ahead and get some messages from our spirit guides, angels, and ancestors. Today I'm using the Chakra Wisdom Oracle Guidebook. Well, not the guidebook, but maybe we'll look into the guidebook, but we're using the Chakra Oracle cards. All right, Spirit, what do we got here? Acceptance, okay? What is it that you're accepting? Are you accepting the outcome? Are you accepting what is? What are we accepting? So, it's coming into a place of acceptance. Spirit, please show me. Spirit guides, angels, ancestors. An ending. We have release. You're accepting an ending. You're accepting someone crossing over too. Having to learn to accept that. For some of, you've had a really rough time accepting that someone is gone. Whether that's, for some of you, it's a mother figure. It could be a father figure. For some of you, it could be a son. I do see a son here. Someone's son. Accepting what is. I feel like they come and visit you when you're cooking. Maybe there was something that you guys like to cook, okay? But it's like, I just saw a white butterfly. Spirit guides, angels, ancestors. What messages do we have here? Impatience. Why the impatience? I'm going to keep going. What do we got here? Soulmate. Okay. Center of the reading, abundance. Ooh, so we got soulmates and abundance. After we let go of something, we have to release. I feel like, we get impatient when we want certain things. We want our money to be right. We want our soulmate. We want, we want what we want when we want it, right? But there's something here about your instinct of knowing. And I feel like for some of you, you're not using your internal instincts, your internal guidance. What do we got here? Ooh, we got victim, playing the victim. Be careful of that. Let's not do that. Ooh, what do we got here? Wisdom. Okay, we're getting wiser. Got green here. That's the heart chakra. All right, and we got two yellows. We've got prayer. Bottom of the deck, we've got discovery. So we have three of the root chakra. So for a lot of you really needing to, this is about discovering who you are, discovering where you want to be. I want to look at the discovery. Since it is the overarching energy, let's see what that one's talking about. Okay. Hold on. Where's okay, discovery. So this card says, life is easy for young Pink. He takes his gifts for granted until one day he loses Petunia, the love of his life, forcing him on an inner journey. He works hard on himself, hoping for another chance that doesn't come. In desperation, he consults Sky God and learns that Petunia is incapable of receiving love. Pink recognizes that Petunia's role in his life has been to expand his capacity to love. The inspiration says, are you trying to recapture a past that no longer fits? If you are presently upset or struggling with a difficult situation, you may be seeking to keep something that is far less than what you deserve. And a lot of the times that's what it is. And so it's talking about, accepting what is. Remember, the first card out that came out was accepting and releasing, This is accepting and releasing, but, and our impatience is because we want this new soulmate to hurry up and come in. But it's recognizing too and being in alignment, because your instinct knows that someone new will come in, but we get so impatient that we choose to go back towards our past. And your spirit guides, angels, and ancestors are like, no, but just remember, have faith that there's a new soulmate right out here waiting for you to come into alignment, but you have to go through the death and rebirth process as well. Which means healing from what you went through. First state is accepting that it's not going to work out. So, and that doesn't mean necessarily only a relationship. For some of you, you're going to have to accept that someone here is gone. That someone here has passed away. And, sometimes our impatience is, God, when am I going to see them again? Like, I want to go home. I want to see them again. And I feel like for some of you, they are going to incarnate, and they could incarnate as one of your pets. They could incarnate as one of your children. I just got confirmation on that when I said that. So I feel like for a lot of you, this has to do with, getting comfortable being uncomfortable. I feel like your root chakra is definitely, has been rocked, because it's like when we're in a relationship, say a marriage, or, when our kids move out of the house. And, we just have to realize, like, we have to release them out. And a lot of it is grieving, the life that we had envisioned for ourselves, right? And then now everything is like in this upheaval. And now we have to do something different with ourselves. But first, it's like accepting it, that has to change, and accepting that other people have to move on. So whether that's moving on for a job or moving on from a relationship, we're all moving on from something right now. We have been for the last few years. If you haven't been releasing in the last few years, where the fuck you been? Because everybody's been out here releasing something, whether it's a home or the state that they lived in or their hometown, or, even the country of origin. For a lot of people, they're moving out of the country. From other people are getting stuck in other people's countries. Basically, it's like I see a lot of refugee energy. And we're all kind of refugees in our own rights. We're all in our comfort zone. But the center of the reading is surrounded by abundance. When we let go, we make room for more. When we let go of people, places, and things that don't treat us like we are valuable. Some people will put money over people. Sometimes these people, and look at how stressed they are. Look at him. And this could, for some of you, be a reason why your relationships didn't work out, is because, sometimes, people value sometimes the saddest things, and that's what this last Taurus eclipse was all about, was, do you value money more than you valued your relationships? What do you value more? Do you value your happiness over, being in a toxic relationship or in a toxic job? Oh, I get paid, it pays the bills, even though my boss is an asshole and expects me to do the job of 15, and they're only paying me for the job of 1, and they're taking advantage, but it pays the bills, because again, money, it's funny. I want to read the abundance card, actually. I want to see what it has to say, because it looks actually kind of... Okay, so abundance says, look at this. Inside a magical treasure chest, gold coins swap stories. One coin tells how a man foolishly dropped her down a drain, then cried instead of trying to get her out. Later, an enterprising little girl used string and chewing gum to fish her out. The coins remember how this girl saved them, along with many others, and eventually bought a house. As all coins desire to be well spent, they agree that she was indeed a wise person. Think about your relationship with money. Are you the wise girl or the foolhardy man? Money is naturally attracted toward appreciation and gratitude. Listen, not everybody was born into money, but it will come to you. It's that ebb and flow. Release the need for money. Release it. People get into these lack thereof mindsets, right? lack thereof mindsets. Oh, well, if I don't stay in this relationship, then I won't have enough money to pay the bills. Oh, if I don't stay in this job and I don't go out and, if I go out and start my own business, I'll never be able to make it. And it's like, that's so not true. That's what they'd have you think. But when you spend, it's like, what is that saying? You can bring them fish, or you can teach them how to fish so that they'll always have food, or you can bring it to them and they'll eat for a day. And if you teach them how to fish, they'll feast for a lifetime. Okay. And I think that that's where the wisdom comes in. Instead of being in this victim mentality like he's in right now, so afraid of sharing his nut, oh, I got to keep that. I got to keep that all to myself. Look at him. Because of the lack mindset, it will keep you stuck. And you have to learn it's the ebbs and flows of money. And that is the wisdom that you gain. So what is the prayer? Oh my God, I opened it up right to prayer. Prayer says, an old man sits on his porch with his grandson, sipping lemonade and reminiscing. He wanted to be a traveling preacher. He'd been all set to leave home, but his father reminded him to pray for guidance. That very night, his father died, and the man realized that Spirit was telling him to stay. Now his grandson appreciates the lemonade, and the old man smiles. He never regretted staying on that farm. Inspiration, cool lemonade is a reminder that there is always a plan. If you were sidetracked from your path, then you will be guided back to your true calling. Personal inquiry says, if my most powerful thought are a form of prayer, how can I live in active prayer? Key ideas, all prayers are answered, following where life leads, being of service, fulfillment. Keywords is clarity, destiny, and authenticity. Going where you are fully authentic and true to you. You're not a slave to what you have. You're not a slave to the system. Don't be a slave to the system. Don't be a slave to what doesn't make you happy. Release the need. I think a lot of the time we get impatient when we don't have what we're wanting at that very moment, when we don't see this amount of money in our bank account just because we said that we needed to have that by this date. Well, that's great. But what else do you need to put in for that to happen? Some people are like, well, by the time I'm 30, I'm going to be married and I'm going to have 3 kids. And then they find themselves at the age of 35 and they haven't even met anybody. It's like, what needs to change so that that can happen? Perspective. And then you get impatient and then you don't listen to your instincts, and that's what ends up getting you in trouble. So, putting it out there to your guides, angels, and ancestors, what you want. And I guarantee what you want wants you. And if there are certain things that you are not getting right now, it's because it's not in alignment with the energy that you're in right now. So what can you do to get into alignment with what it is that you're wanting? Relationships, better relationships with your family and friends, more gatherings. Start inviting people over and doing, dinners and stuff. Open yourself up. I think everybody's been so closed off because of this whole pandemic crap that everybody forgets, there are people out there that we do need. And if you want to meet new people, that's the best way of doing it. You don't necessarily need to go to a bar or church or any of that to meet people, but, call over the friends that you do have, and from now on, when you're invited, go, or you'll stop being invited, I think that this is just a major, your overall energy is discovery. Going out and discovering the world. Going out and discovering new groups, associating with new people. Discovering who you are. Because I feel for a lot of you, you've just been dissipating. The person that you once were is dissipating. And I'm definitely getting a mother or a grandmother figure who is coming through very strong. And I feel, again, a son here. I'm getting a son. Somebody's son is coming through. And he's saying, like, I know you're worrying about your money, but stop worrying. I want to look at wisdom. We already know what the victim is, but then what do we gain from being that victim mentality is the wisdom, right? So it says, one day a young sagebrush asks his grandfather how to grow old with wisdom. The elder answers, we must learn from our mistakes. Before you worry about something, ask yourself if it will be important in the future. Enjoy your present form as well as we all change with time. Inspiration says, is there some wise counsel that you have sought only to ignore it? Are you trying to do things alone? A solution may come from those more experienced than yourself. Stay in the present moment and do not let your thoughts jump ahead. Personal inquiry says, do I go with my heart or against it? Am I ready to live in leadership? Key ideas say wise counsel, focused energy, honoring yourself, contribution, being chosen, contentment, and transformation. Keywords are maturity, tranquility, and support. So, finding someone, a mentor even, or have you already, come into contact with a mentor, like it was saying, and maybe you haven't taken some of the advice that was given to you. Maybe you've had a reading done and somebody gave you some really wise advice and you're still not listening and you're coming back for different advice. It's like, I need a sign of your sign. When the sign is already there, you ask for the sign, they gave you the sign and you want a sign of your sign, And also your prayers will also be answered. So, your spirit guides, angels, and ancestors don't always necessarily, they don't want to be prayed to. Just tell them what to do. Okay, I'm a firm believer because not all of us go, dear God, I don't. I'm not that person who, dear Heavenly Father. Okay, I'm the kind of person who will sit down and talk to my guides, angels, and ancestors and be like, listen, let's level with each other for a minute. Like, you guys are drunk or something because you are sleeping on the job and I need your help. Like, I've been begging you for help and you guys keep forgetting sometimes. Like, can we work together here, and then they're like, oh shoot, sorry, we screwed up a little bit. Like, we'll give you a little bit of extra credit. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just got to come in and remind them because they do get a little sidetracked like we do. Okay. And especially if you haven't been listening to them, or sometimes they think that you're strong enough and they don't need to help you because you've got it all. And that's what it's saying is ask for help. If you need money, ask for money. If you need to take out a loan from someone, ask. The answer is always no unless you ask. I'm going to leave that here. I feel like this is a really good food for thought. I feel like we do have a lot of ancestors, and I feel more ancestors that came through in this reading. So I feel like the veil is very, very thin right now. So for a lot of you, while you guys are making cookies, I just got cookies and cupcakes. I've got breads. I'm seeing breads. I feel like holiday meals. You guys are going to feel them more and more through the veil. I feel like pay attention to your dreams because I feel like I just saw a fatherly figure or grandfatherly figure that just came through. Very jolly guy, very sweet man. I can feel his aura, and he just has a very sunny disposition, whoever this is that I'm tuned into. I got Harold. Okay, so if anybody here knows somebody by the name of Harold, or Harry, or that came through very strong. I heard John, Brent, Margie. Okay, that's my mom's name, and she came through loud and clear, so I'm going to say it. Okay, I don't know if anybody else has Margie, but I heard it, and I had to giggle and let you know that that's my mom. They usually don't chime in, but that's why I got a giggle out of it because she purposely was like, pick me. But my mom was an Aquarius, so that's something she would do. I got Ben, Carol, Jack, Richard. I got Jamie, Gretchen, okay, I got that some of you, it was a holiday tradition to have a plate of nuts, and you would like hazelnuts, and I got the black walnuts. I'm getting acorns. I'm getting, I know it's random. Oh, and I see pine cones. I'm seeing pine cones. It's a tradition to have pine cones. I just smelled cinnamon. I see you guys going to, somebody here just went to somebody's headstone not that long ago. And I feel like after you went to their headstone, you baked something or cooked something that they would have cooked, okay? It was a meal. I don't know if you heard the birds just get louder as I said that, but there was like a meal that you prepared or a dessert or something that you prepared around that same time that you went to their place of rest. Okay. Any other messages? Somebody's here crossed over. I'm getting a dog. Dogs are going to be relevant. Okay. They are also here for you. I just got clarification on that. Clarity. Someone here has a picture or a tattoo of a dragon. And I'm definitely getting when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Pay attention to the moon cycles. And I feel like your third eye is going off. You might even feel like a wah, 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 wah around your third eye. Pay attention because I feel like for some of you, you are going to, somebody here is getting a, like it's a life insurance policy that somebody wrote and there's like money that's coming in from that. I'm definitely getting that. Older man may want to take it from you. He's not wanting you to have it, especially if you're like a grandchild or something. Maybe the brother of the deceased, you know, whether that's your grandfather or, you know, whatever. It could have been their brother or, you know, just a very selfish person. I feel like this person doesn't want you to have the money. That's very specific. But it's not going to matter. You're going to get it nonetheless. And they're going to act like a victim, but they're going to just have to accept it. Be careful getting up on a ladder too, okay? There's something here about you getting impatient and getting up on the ladder, and you could also fall off because you're not listening to your instincts and you're being impatient. So it kind of reminds me of like one of those, like when you're like pissed off and you go walking out the door and your belt loop gets caught on the doorknob, okay? That's what I'm getting with this. All right. Well, if you guys made it this far, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for being here. And we will chat again soon. Check me out on Instagram and Facebook. I love you guys all so much, and thank you to everyone who has donated to my channel. Take care.